Hey Underdogs, welcome back to Underdogs Rise, the podcast where we rise together. Have you ever thought that our emotions lead us to the motion of our thoughts? Just think about that for a moment. The word emotion itself contains the word emotion. And our emotions are the energy in motion. They move through us and they influence what we notice or believe, what we remember, and how we can choose to respond to the world around us. Many of us may have been taught that thinking itself becomes our first thought and our emotions come second. But life itself doesn't work that way. I think we feel first and our thoughts come second. And understanding this can completely transform the way that we understand ourselves and each other. Many of us, myself included, used to think that emotions as passengers, as things in our lives that would tag along on our journey. Sometimes they would be small and sometimes they would be secondary. But they are often sitting much closer to ourselves than we may actually realise. When we experience the emotion of joy or love, our world will appear different. Possibilities will seem larger. Our challenges can seem more manageable. The people in our lives seem kinder, and our future feels much brighter. But when we are hurting, discouraged or simply afraid, our world can appear completely different. The opportunities disappear. The challenges that we go through feel overwhelming. The people around us seem to be distant. And the future feels uncertain. What changed? Our emotional state changed. And our thoughts began to move in a particular direction. Imagine for a moment putting a pair of tinted glasses on. The lenses are green. Everything takes on a green meaning. If the lenses were blue, everything would take on the blue meaning. And our emotions are similar. They colour the world around us and our perception of it. A person who is experiencing gratitude may look at their life and see so many blessings. But a person who's experiencing resentment may only see limitations. Neither person is necessarily lying, as they are simply viewing through their different emotional lenses in that moment. This is why taking the time to understand ourselves and to understand our emotions is so important. Because our thoughts often are responding to the emotional atmosphere within us. Our feelings do create the climate, and our thoughts are the weather. Let's talk about fear for a moment. We all experience it. That can be a moment-to-moment thing, or once or twice a week. Because fear is one of the most powerful emotional influences of our thought. When that fear arrives, our thoughts begin to simply gather around it. And we start communicating to ourselves, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if something goes wrong? See, what I'm learning is that the fear that we create has a remarkable ability to convince us that our own imagination is the reality that we are living. It creates that emotion which leads to the motion of our own thinking. Not because our thoughts are true. It's because the emotion is powerful. We feel it. The challenge that we all go through is learning how to listen to fear without allowing it to completely direct the conversation that we are having internally. It can have a voice, our fear. But it doesn't mean it has to have the final word. Now let's consider love. Love also creates motion in our thoughts. When we feel supported, accepted, valued, and connected, our thinking does change. We can become more creative, more open, and more willing to trust. Love whispers different questions to us. What if this works? How can I grow? What can I learn? The situation and circumstances may be unchanged, but our emotional foundation has shifted. And from that foundation, our new thoughts emerge. This is why our environments are so crucial. If they are filled with encouragement, they will help us. They will help you. Because all of our emotions influence our thinking. And our thinking influences the actions that we take. One of the most important lessons that we can learn is simply this. We are not our emotions. We experience them. When we get to a place where we understand that our emotions move through us, and with that we are able to observe them rather than to become them, that can be life-changing. The space in between our emotions and how we react is one of the most powerful spaces in life. When our emotions arrive, a feeling will emerge. Our heart responds, our body responds, and our thoughts begin to move. And then we have a choice. Can I pause long enough in this moment to notice what is actually happening? Can I become curious enough about this feeling that I'm experiencing? Can I ask myself, what emotion am I experiencing right now? Are these thoughts helping me? This simple awareness can be life-changing, because our awareness interrupts the automatic patterns of our emotions. Given the chance, it gives us a reason to respond rather than to react. Our goal is not to eliminate our emotions. Our goal is to understand them. A skilled gardener doesn't hate the garden that they are cultivating, their seeds, their dreams, their desires, their aspirations, their dreams. A skilled gardener will learn from them. Tend to those seeds, nurture them, water them. This is not a quick fix. This takes time. And over that time, you will create new conditions for a healthier growth. Which will also allow the same for our emotions. The emotion that we feel creates the motion of our thoughts. And those thoughts, they influence every aspect of our own lives. This is why emotional awareness is not weakness, it's freedom. It's self-understanding. When we take the time to recognise our emotional states, we do become better to understand our own thinking. And when we understand our own thinking, we are able to make better choices. Human choices. And that's enough. The next time a powerful thought enters your mind, ask yourself, what emotion might be underneath this thought? Because a path to clearer thinking often begins with understanding what we're actually feeling in that moment. The emotions we experience may lead to the motion of our thoughts. And the more gently we understand those emotions, the more wisely that we can direct them into a new form of motion. Underdogs rise, and we rise together.